Good morning, friends. Today we'll continue our lecture on work and energy. So, yesterday we studied what is work and what is the scientific concept of work. When we apply force on an object and the object is displaced in the direction of force, then work is said to be done. We also learned that force and displacement can be in the same side, that is at 0 degree, in the opposite side at 180 degree. It could be perpendicular at 90 degree, or it can have any other angle. In that case, the formula modifies to Fs cos theta. Okay, so that we have done about work. In this lecture, we are going to understand energy, because to do work, what will we need? Energy. So let us see what is energy. Last lecture we finished work. This lecture will talk about energy. Now we can say an object that possesses energy can exert a force on another object. We can do all our work because we have got the energy to do work. And from where do we get the energy to do work? From the food that we eat. So, any object can possess energy. If it possesses energy, it can exert a force on another object. And if this force makes the other object undergo displacement, then work is done. So energy is possessed, only then work can be done. Now energy can be transformed from the former to the latter, means when this object does the work or exerts a force on another object, like we said yesterday, this object will lose energy. The body that does the work will lose the energy, and the body on which the work is done will gain the energy. So this object had energy, but it exerted a force on another object. So this object loses the energy, while the other object will gain the energy. So the second object may be displaced because of the energy it received. So what is the definition of energy then? Energy is the capability or the ability to do work. Means anybody can do work only if it possesses energy. Now, because work is related to energy, the unit of energy and work will be the same. What was the unit of work we saw? Work equal to force into displacement. So when 1 Newton force displaces a body by 1 meter, the work done is 1 joule. So here also the unit of energy will be in joule, because work done and energy are related. So 1 joule is energy required to do 1 joule of work. Same unit, 1 joule of energy is required to do 1 joule of work. But in daily life we use sometimes kilojoules, and we also use sometimes the word called calories. Have you read this word calories anywhere? On the packets and ingredients that we eat, it shows how much calories the food possesses, means how much energy the food has. Now we take the word calories in the amount of fats that the body produces, which is true. We are eating calories because it gives us energy to do work. But if the energy is not utilized, it gets accumulated in the body in the form of fats. So we talk about kilojoules and kilocalories. Kilojoule means 1 kilojoule equal to 1000 joule. And 1 kilocalorie in the same way kilocalorie equal to 1000 calories. Okay? What is the relation between joule and calorie? We will keep it for some later time. Now, let us look at the different forms of energy. Because they are transferred from one body to another, the forms of energy are mechanical energy. Mechanical energy, remember, in any body is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. What is potential? What is kinetic? We'll learn very shortly. This mechanical energy, the energy related to movement, heat energy, chemical energy, electric energy, light energy. So here I have given a few examples of the interconversion of energy. Some processes. So what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is converting light energy to chemical energy. The plants prepare the food, which is chemical energy, from the sunlight, which is light energy. In the same way, electric to heat is the electric iron to iron the clothes or the microwave oven. Electric to sound is the music system and also our TV. Electric to mechanical, we saw. Electric to mechanical is the electric motor. What does it do? The electric motor is used for many purposes in the fan, mixers, even to fill the water in the tanks over the terraces. Then chemical to mechanical are vehicles. Vehicle use a fuel called petrol, diesel, kerosene, whatever. They are all chemicals. So chemical gives rise to mechanical movement in the vehicles. Sound is transferred to electric in a microphone. When you speak or sing in a microphone, the sound is converted to electrical impulse which is amplified by the amplifier. Then mechanical to electric is the electric generator, the ECG in the hospitals are mechanical. The movement gives rise to electrical impulse which are amplified and shown on the screen. And sound to mechanical is speaker. What do I mean sound to mechanical? You can observe in a room when you are playing music very loudly. If you keep the volume very high, the doors of the cupboards, the glasses start to vibrate. How are they vibrating? Who is making them move? When the sound from the speaker, yes, the loud sound. So if you got a music system at home which you are playing very loudly, you will see the doors, the glasses start to move. So sound to mechanical, a speaker can do it. So these are the various forms of energy. Now we go to an example of kinetic energy. So we'll begin with the first kind of energy, kinetic energy. There is a small activity. What is the activity? Take a heavy ball and drop it on a thick bed of sand. So if you have got a bag of sand, drop a ball into it. When you drop the ball into the sand, the ball will go slightly deeper. It will displace the sand and go deeper into the sand. Okay? If possible, wet the bed of sand so that the mud does not split. We are fly in the air. Now drop the ball from a height of 25 centimeter. It creates a depression. It will create a depression. Repeat the same at 50 centimeter. Repeat the same at 1 meter, at 1.5 meter. Take the ball higher and higher and higher and observe what happens. What do you think will happen? You can try it out on a sand box, drop a ball and see what happens. You will see the depressions become deeper. At 25 centimeter got a depression. If you begin at 50 centimeter, the depression will be more. At 1 meter it will be even more, at 1.5 meter even more. So when you mark the depression, compare their depths. Which one of them is the deepest? Ask yourself. Which one is the shallowest? Also ask the question, why the ball made a deeper dent? Why? The questions are why. What do you think? So, where does the answer lie? When you increase the height of the ball. Now, we did in the previous chapter of gravity. Which formula we used? H equal to ut plus half at square, the height. Or we can use v square minus u square upon 2g equal to h. Or we can even write v square equal to u square plus 2gh. So as you increase the height, what happens? When the height is increased, you are dropping the ball. The velocity of the ball keeps on increasing. Yes? So here there is an increase in the velocity of the ball. But what has velocity to do with energy? Now, there is another example shown here. Yes, you can see this apparatus, you can see the diagram. A wooden block of a known mass, this is a wooden block whose mass is known, is put in front of a trolley. Okay? And at the end of the trolley, there is a pen to put weights. Now keep on adding weight to this pen, slowly keep on adding weight to this pen so that the trolley starts to move. This trolley will start to move, but when it starts to move, it will hit the wooden block kept before it. Okay? So fix a stop on the table in such a manner that the trolley stops after hitting the block. When the trolley hits the block, it should stop, but the block will get displaced. Now note down how much the block has displaced. So this trolley is tied with a string to the pen. When you put in the weight in the pen, the gravitational force will pull the pen down. When the pen is pulled down, this thread will pull this trolley. But this trolley, when it comes forward, it will hit this block and push this block to a new position. There will be a displacement in the block. Because there is a displacement on the block by the force of the trolley, you can say work is done on this block. Okay? But from where did this trolley get the energy to do the work of pushing this block? From where? So this was the gravitational force acting downward, transmitted by the string to the trolley. Okay? Now, again repeat the experiment, but this time add more weight to the trolley. Now you will notice when you add more weight, it goes down faster. As it goes down faster, this trolley is pulled faster. And as the trolley is pulled faster, you will see the block is displaced more. So, you can see this. When everything was at rest, there was no work done. There was no work done when everything was kept at rest. But when the trolley started to move, it did the work of pushing the block. So the trolley could only push the block when it was in motion. So now we can define the energy possessed by the body due to its motion is called kinetic energy. The energy which is possessed by the body because of its motion is called kinetic energy. Now you know a bullet, yes, which we put in the gun and shoot. So a bullet, imagine if you hold a bullet in your hand and throw it on somebody, will the person be afraid? Will the person be afraid or will the person get hurt when you throw the bullet with your hand? No. But when you load the bullet in the gun and then shoot it from a gun, then the person will get hurt. Because the bullet in the gun possesses more energy than when you throw the bullet with your hand. So what is the difference here? When you fire a bullet from a gun, it has got more velocity. That more velocity gave it more energy. So the energy possessed by a body due to its motion is called kinetic energy. So now we have understood that the moving object, the moving trolley, the moving bullet can do work. But the faster the body moves, the more work it can do. And if it is slowly moving, relatively slow, it will do less work. So I gave you the equation, the idea, a moving bullet, the blowing wind. The wind is also there, breeze is also there, but the breeze will do less work because its velocity is less. Wind will do more work because velocity is more. The rotating wheel, a speeding stone, if you throw a stone with high velocity, it can do more work. Okay? So objects in motion possess energy. This energy is called kinetic energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its motion is called kinetic energy. Now examples are falling coconut, a speeding car, a rolling stone, a flying aircraft, flowing water, blowing wind, running athlete. They all possess kinetic energy because they all are in motion. All are in motion. So if the motion is more, means the velocity is more, then your kinetic energy will be more. Right? So that is the idea of kinetic energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its motion is called kinetic energy. So if you are running at a high speed and your friend tries to stop you, when you collide with your friend, you might stop, but you will push your friend backwards. Why? Because you had kinetic energy because of your speed, because of your motion. So what is kinetic energy? The energy possessed by a body due to its motion. Since the body can have kinetic energy only if it is in motion. We have got the fans on our head. Yeah, over our head we have got the fans. Now we in winter we do not put on the fans, but in summer when you turn on the fan and the fans are moving, only then the moving blades will have energy. If you put your finger inside the blade, your finger might get cut. Do not try it, but this moving blade, and when the fan is very fast, and because of the faster motion, it gets more energy. In the mixer also, we have the grinder juicer we have, there is the level of 1, 2, 3. 1 means the blade is moving at a lower speed, has got less kinetic energy. When you increase the speed of the blades, the faster it moves, it gathers more energy. You can imagine the blades of a fan, sorry, the blades of an aeroplane. To fly, it needs to generate how much energy, so how many times it must be rotating in 1 second. So by increasing the rotation, you can increase the energy. Now we'll see the derivation for the formula of kinetic energy. The derivation. So consider an object of mass m. We have got an object whose mass is m and a initial velocity u. So body with mass m was going with the initial velocity u. Okay? Now a force acts on it. A force acts on it, F acts on it, and it is displaced by S. So body was having initial velocity u. Because you applied a force, it is displaced by S. Okay? And the force is constant. So pushing the body constant force, the displacement is S. But because you applied a force, there will be acceleration. And acceleration means the velocity of the body has changed. So let the velocity change to V. The velocity has changed from U to V. Displacement is S by applying a force F. And the mass of the body is M. Now you know the formula, work is equal to force into displacement. Okay? Now when we do work or apply a force, there will be the acceleration, the formula ma, this change in velocity. So we say that the velocity change from u to v, where a is the acceleration which changes the velocity from u to v. Now what is the law of motion, equation of motion? V square minus u square equal to 2as. Yes? V square minus u square 2as. So what does it imply? It implies, you take this 2a below, it implies s is equal to v square minus u square upon 2a. Okay, so what is the value of s? S is v square minus u square upon 2a, this is s. And what is f? You know f equal to m into a. So replace in the equation, w now becomes, f becomes m into a. So m into a. So replacing the value f equal to ma and s equal to v square minus u square upon 2a, we cut off the a and we get w equal to half m v square minus u square. So this was when the body was traveling with initial velocity u and the final velocity v. Now if the body started from rest, stationary, then u would be 0. If the object was stationary, the initial velocity would be 0, so this u square becomes 0, so we get the work done is half mv square. This is called the work energy theorem. Yes, the work done is equal to the change in kinetic energy. So sometimes you may have to use this formula if there is an initial velocity and a final velocity. But if the body starts from rest, you will use W equal to half mv square. So the kinetic energy possessed by an object of mass m moving with a uniform velocity v. Now it is said uniform velocity. So you can use this formula also, but sometimes what you can do, we can take the average velocity as u plus v upon 2. That will depend upon the numerator. So the work done on the body is the energy gained by the body. So the formula of kinetic energy is Ek equal to half mv square. This is the derivation of the kinetic energy. This question can be asked for 3 marks. So kindly learn the definition of kinetic energy and learn to derive this formula. That Ek, kinetic energy, equal to half mv square. Now we'll do some examples based on it. So today's topic is only energy, interconversion of energy and the derivation of kinetic energy. Now we have an object of mass 15 kg. So m equal to 15 kg. And the uniform velocity, so v is 4 meter per second. What is the kinetic energy possessed by the object? So we know the formula right now. K is kinetic energy equal to half mv square. So it's half into 15 into 4 into 4. 4 ones are 4 twos are 2 fours are 8. 120 joule. Remember the unit of work is joule. So an object with a mass 15 kg moving with a uniform velocity 4 meter per second, the kinetic energy possessed by the object is 120 joule. Is it clear? So we went from work to energy. So what is energy? It is the ability of the body to do work. So the unit of work and energy is the same, joule. One more numerical. What is the work to be done to increase the velocity of a car going at 30 km per hour to 60 km per hour, where the mass of the car is 15 kg. So let me write down. The mass of the car is 15 kg. Initial velocity is 30 km per hour. But you know the standard units are meter and second. So how should we convert meter into second? So let us say we have got 1 kilometer per hour. Okay, 1 kilometer per hour. So when the speed is in kilometer per hour, 1 kilometer per hour. Convert into meter per second. So 1 kilometer is 1000 meter. 1 hour is 60 minutes and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 1 hour is 60 into 60 seconds. 0, 0 cut, 0, 0 cut, 2 3s are, 2 5s are. So 5 upon 18 meter per second. So 1 kilometer per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. So to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, we have to multiply by 5 upon 18. To convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, we have to multiply by 18 upon 5. Remember. So U is 30 kilometers per hour. So in meter per second, I write 30 into 5 upon 18. 6 3s are, 6 5s are. So 25 meter, 25 by 3 meter per second. Initial velocity. Final velocity 60 kilometers per hour equal to 60 into 5 by 18. 6 3s are, 6 10s are. So 50 upon 3 meter per second. Okay. Now work done. Formula W equal to half m v square minus u square. We got half into m. M is 1500 kg into v square 50 by 3 the whole square. So 2500 upon 9. Why? Because 50 by 3 the whole square is 2500 upon 9 minus 25 by 2 the whole square. 625 upon 9 equal to 1 by 2 into 1500. 2000 minus 625 is how much? 75. 1375 upon 3. Okay, 3 ones are 3 500s are 2 ones are 2 250. So 1375 into 250 multiplied, get your answer. This much joule of work is done. So this much work is done to increase the velocity of a car from 30 km per hour to 60 km per hour when the mass of the car is 1500 kg. So we are going to end the lecture here. Remember, in the first lecture we understood work, which is force into displacement. We saw positive, negative and zero work. And in this lecture we started with energy. What is energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. Okay, energy is the capacity to do work. And the first form of energy we learned today is kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by the body because of its motion. The formula we derived was Ek equal to half mv square. And we have done two numericals which you can repeat, understand the topic in detail. This kind of numericals will be asked in the test and the exams. So I am going to end the lecture for today. Thank you.